Hello plant lovers and welcome back to my channel. Haven't been around for a while, but today we're going to just have a quick look at some of the Hoyas I have. And I've only got a few, but I've got some on my wish list. And I'm going to talk about how I keep up the humidity in my apartment. My favorite one, and I have to have it. Oh, by the way, those that are new, welcome to this channel. My name is Bruno. I'm an ex-Australian living in the Baltic states in northeastern Europe, and it's still winter. As I said, being from Australia, one of the first plants I had to get was a Hoya australis. Yes, this one is doing extremely well. It's got 2 growth points, and it's produced, I think, 2, 4, 6, 8 leaves. 10 and 12 are on the way out, being pushed out right now. So this is quite a favorite of mine because of its links with Australia. I'd also like to get the plain green variety. It's in a clear pot and I can see that its roots are forming extremely well. And this is why I really like clear pots. One of the other Hoyas I have is the one I've already shown you, Callistophylla, which arrived on the 18th of November in 2022. And as you will remember, those that have watched that particular episode, it arrived completely frozen. The box was frozen, the plant was frozen, the leaves were frozen. It had 3 original leaves. One went yellow and fell off, but it has pushed out a new leaf for me, and it's sort of going to be pushing out something else very soon. So I'm very happy with that. I also have already shown you that I made a big mistake and bought 2 of these little heart-shaped propagations. Everything on the internet, as I said, tells me 10% chance, if that they'll ever sprout anything new. So locally I found advertised on the internet a 4-leaf cutting of Hoya kerrii, and I'm very happy. Very happy. It has 4 big leaves. Something is going to happen from the stem because I can see these little, I think, growth nodes about to push out. The stem is quite thick. So I think the mother plant of this must have very thick stems. And it's interesting, the owner told me that she has grown her original plant from one of these single leaf cuttings. Hers actually sprouted and she has a huge plant, but I'm still happy to have stem, I can see some growth nodes, and 4 leaves. Really good. I have one other Hoya. It's Hoya leonaris. It's hanging quite high at the moment, and it's a bit dark up there. It's hanging underneath the skylight. It's growing really well. The drooping stems are about 1 meter long. So one day when I'm filming in the actual daytime and it's well lit, I'll show you one of those. I recently went on a shopping spree in a big box store. I actually went there to get some clear pots. Especially what I was really looking for is these tiny little clear pots, almost impossible to find because I've got tiny little cash pots and I needed clear pots for cuttings, etc., especially my alocasia corms, so I can see through the little pot if the roots are actually forming or not. And I'm very glad to say that I did find these tiny little ones and a whole lot of other sizes. Didn't find any really big sizes, but I bought some hanging pots and other things. And when it all comes down to it, I had set myself a budget to spend in the store, and I think I spent 3 times more than I actually wanted to. Because I also found a tiny little, all by itself, a zigzag or fishbone cactus, which was on a list of things that I wanted to have hanging up high near the skylights. Poor little thing was about 6 or 8 stems rooted in moss, not moss, in peat moss, and they're all tied together with rubber bands under the ground. So transplanted them and put them way up. There's one other little plant I want to show you, which I bought locally from a local website where people, it's a little bit like Etsy, but it's local, and people sell everything and anything on that site. And I saw this plant and I had to get it. So I'm just going to show you because I really, really love it. So just bear with me. This is the plant that I was talking about. I found it online. I'm pretty sure it's an Anthurium hookeri. I've compared it to other plants, but based on the shape and width of the leaves and the veins, especially how thick they are, and they're popping out above on the top of the leaf and at the bottom of the leaf, I think it's a hookeri, Anthurium hookeri. I've repotted it immediately, put it in the shower, changed the soil, everything. The owner could only tell me that it was an Anthurium. What particular species, she didn't know, but I really think it's a hookeri, so I'm really hopeful it's going to grow big, big tropical leaves. And I have suspended above it a little grow light. And one of the things I bought in the big box store is this little, it's like a long extension cord with a light socket. So I was able to hang this above my new Anthurium and connect the grow light above it so it gets enough light. So that's enough for that, and let's get back to my sitting position. Now, I'm back. Let's talk about humidity. Now, I have told you I've got 4.5 to 5 meter high ceilings. I have 2 humidifiers running all day. Well, one of them runs all day. But there are some cheap ways of doing it. I also found that these plastic pots, cash pots or pots, I think they're for orchids. You fill them with moss and whatever and plant orchids in them. They are the perfect size to just fill with water and put them on top of your radiator. And it's going to evaporate into the room and increase. I managed to keep the humidity in the whole apartment between 55 and 65%. Sometimes it creeps up to 66, 67%. But these are free. They don't use any electricity. Just fill it with water and put it on top of your radiators. And it fits perfectly. The width is perfect for sitting on top of a radiator. Another trick of the trade that I use, and I'm not really sure if this particular item is available elsewhere, but here I managed to find these, they're terracotta containers, glazed on the outside, a little hook fits on them. You fill them up with water. Oops, it would go this way. And you hang this flush against your radiator. For my longer radiators, the big ones, I have 2 of them. And of course, fill it up with water, the water evaporates, boom, free humidity. On my smaller radiators, I have 1 of these hanging. Not really sure whether this is something that is produced locally here in Lithuania or whether it's something that's imported from another country, because there's no maker's mark, no label, no nothing. Nobody wants to own up who makes them. I think they could make a fortune if they made them elsewhere and exported them, because it's free humidity. As I said, terracotta, glazed. I have 2 hanging on every long radiator and 1 on every small one. So that's another way of getting it done for free. Another free way of increasing the humidity. Have your shower or bath with the door open. And don't put on your exhaust fan. That humidity will also diffuse. I have a really, really old humidifier, which I won't show you because it's showing its age. But I did buy is it a Levoit humidifier. what I really like about that humidifier is it's quiet. It has a 6-liter tank, so I only fill it up once a day. It can blow out warm, moist, or cool, moist air. As I said, it makes no noise, runs out of water, it switches off, but most humidifiers do it. But, and another good thing is on the top, it has 2 directional flows, so you can set the humidity to come out in 2 different directions. These little things turn, see? You can set them in any direction. I'm quite happy. But what I don't understand about this Levoit humidifier is it very often switches off because it says the humidity level is close to 80%, which is what I have it set at. But all my hydrometers, I have 3 or 4 of them spread across the apartment, and they all show 10 to 20% less humidity than the actual Levoit humidifier thinks there's in. Maybe that's because it's spurting out this mist very close to its sensor, and it thinks the humidity is much higher than it is. What you have to remember is, another thing, I bought a bottom filling one. So this is upside down now. Now this cap that you have to undo is big. So if you've got a small hand, it might not be very easy for you to open it. And I find it difficult to open because I want to close it tight enough that it doesn't leak. But then when I have to open it to fill it up in the morning, it's very hard to open. I have to use a towel or something, sometimes 2 hands. But as you can see, it takes a good big hand to open it. The other thing I don't really like about this particular, and what I don't trust, is it has this little plastic handle to carry it. Okay, I can carry it by this little plastic handle when it's empty. But when it's got 6 liters of water in it, don't really trust it to carry it by this little plastic handle. So I carry it by hand and plop it on. Now the other thing I want to say about this, I mean, I'm happy with it. Despite its minuses, I should have bought the model where it opens from the top. But, this is an ultrasonic room humidifier. And I have found out something that I don't like. My rooms in my apartment all the furniture is covered in white dust. Everything is covered. It's as if someone has come in and sprayed absolutely everything. I have to clean all my tabletops, my bookcases, my display shelves, everything, every 3rd or 4th day, because everything is covered in a white dust. And when the sun, on its rare occasions during our winter, is shining through the south-facing windows, I have like these beams of light shining through fog, or it's like in the old days being in a bar or in a coffee shop inside where people used to smoke. It's as if there's been like 10 people inside my apartment all smoking away, and the place is like it's full of a mist. And apparently it's this humidifier, this ultrasonic humidifier. If you have hard water, it's not only releasing the H2O mist, but all those tiny little water particles in the mist are all grabbing the salts and minerals that are in your hard water. Well, maybe my water is hard, but we do have water softeners in our building. But it does use salt to soften the water. And that salt is in the water. So that's why I don't water my plants anymore with tap water. But I fill my humidifier with tap water. So those salts and chemicals that are in the water are coming out with the mist into the air, which I'm breathing, and settling on all my surfaces. One of the solutions is to use distilled water. Well, look, I'm really sorry, but I'm going to need a container full every day because the humidifier takes 6 liters of water. And I think the distilled water container with a handle is 5 liters. Now that is going to add up to a pretty price every week, and added up for the time period from mid-autumn through winter to at least early spring, when I'm still going to have to use the humidifier. It's going to cost a pretty penny. I did see that there are these little demineralizer blocks, which I got from Amazon, recommended for ultrasonic humidifiers. Well, and you just throw one in the humidifier, fill it up, and just pop in a new one every month. And I think the box had 10 of them in there, and I think it works out to about like a €1.30 for one. So €1.30 for this demineralizer. Not really sure yet if it's working. I've only been using them for the last 3 or 4 days. It looks a bit like the mist level in the rooms. Not a mist level, but like the fog level has reduced. But I do also have a room air purifier, and it's running most of the day. The interesting thing is that since I've been using this Levoit ultrasonic humidifier, it is showing my air quality as very bad. If it's not too cold outside and I manage to open a couple of the windows and let the apartment air freshen up, it'll go back to very good. So I'm waiting now. I think I'm going to give it a chance. I'll give it a chance. I'll give it about a week to see what it's going to do. But I think I will wait it out this season, and for next winter season I will get myself a evaporative humidifier and not an ultrasonic one, because this white dust on absolutely everything in my apartment, which means it's also on all my plants. So when I'm cleaning all my surfaces, I also have to wash and clean down every leaf of every plant. So, okay, it works, but there's a price if you don't have access to extremely clean, mineral-free water. Anyway, that's it for today. I'll be back soon with another new topic. Don't know quite what, but I'll find something, because there's some plants I haven't mentioned yet, and I might film in the day so I can show you some of the plants that I have high up. So you know what to do. Please like this channel, subscribe, which will give me a stimulus to keep going in my crazy way and to keep you informed what's going. So until next time, ciao guys.